where we're letting books be the escape. Hello, lovelies. Yes, so in my life updatey video thing, I mentioned a very exciting thing that I was going to be doing. Well, I kind of did the thing. That's right. I went to ALA 2018 and it was so many different things at once. Was it hands down one of the best things in the entire universe that I've ever done in my life ever? Yes. Was it also at the same time one of the most physically and emotionally draining experiences of my entire life, and also one of the hottest things I have ever done in my entire life? Also, just yes. But the good so outweighed the bad. It was such a phenomenal experience. There was just so much there, and not just books. There were so many people, so many amazing publishers and publicists and librarians and bloggers and bookstagrammers and booktubers, and oh, it was phenomenal. And then New Orleans, while so freaking hot, and this is coming from a girl who was born and raised in Florida, New Orleans is a town like no other. It is definitely everything you've ever heard about it. It is just a party town 24/7 in the best way. It's so cool. It's so cool. I wish I had had more time to spend actually exploring the city, but I totally didn't, because this conference, man, these book conferences do not play. They are hustle and bustle, and you need to be here, and you need to be in this line, and you need to do this thing at this time. Just, it was a lot. But y'all don't want to hear about that. We all know what you're here for. Yeah, I'm on to you. I know why you clicked on this thumbnail. Yeah, you want to see all the books I got. And that's good, because I want to show you all the books I got, because I am so excited about so many of these books. I got so many books, and they're great books, and I'm so excited, and just, yes. So let's hurry up and get into the books, because there are so many. And so, without further ado, let's just get to it. We ain't gonna do the whole save the best for last thing, because I'm not that person. And no doubt if you have been keeping track of this channel or my social media in any sort of way, you know that this was going to be at ALA. You know that this was going to be the thing that I was most determined to get at ALA. And if we're being 100% honest, it's, I would say 90% of the reason why I got in my car and drove 9 hours to go to ALA at all. So, we're just gonna get this out of the way. Yes, I did get an arc of Bridgette Clay by Marcus Zusak while I was there. I got one of the limited, very limited, as you can see, numbered arcs of Bridgette Clay at ALA. It was the most precious thing that I received the entire time I was in the lovely city of New Orleans. And if you are wondering, yes, I have already read it. I devoured it. I'm not saying any words about it until closer to release date, which is October 9th, I want to say. So you guys are gonna have to wait to hear all my thoughts about this until October, but just know that it's just, take from that what you will. That I can't fathom words to say. Just deduce what you will from that. The next book that I was super determined to get while I was at ALA was, of course, Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, which is the sequel and conclusion to the Strange the Dreamer duology. And not only did I receive this lovely arc, but I also received it personalized and signed. So just, so many goals were accomplished with this. It's not only do I now have the ability to read one of my most anticipated books of the year early, and have another piece to add to my ever-growing Laini Taylor collection, but you all might be aware that Laini Taylor was the last of my golden trio, them being Zusak, Steve Otter, and Taylor, that I had not yet met in person. But with the receiving of this thing, we can that off the list. As I said, this is the sequel slash conclusion to The Strange the Dreamer duology, so I can't really say too much about it, except that it's freaking amazing. I'm like a little ways into it, and it's already just, it's so good. If you have not picked up this duology, please do the thing. The next book that I was super excited to receive at ALA, I didn't even know it was gonna be there, and that is A Map of Days by Ransom Riggs, which, if you did not know, is the forthcoming 4th book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. That's right, it's not a trilogy anymore, it's a series. This is book 4. Yeah, not only did I not know that they were gonna be there, but Ransom was also there, signing them, so I did the thing. I am so excited to get to this because I really loved this series and I wanted more from the trilogy, and now I'm getting that. And I'm just, I'm so excited. So excited. Speaking of trilogies that are being continued, I also got another book that I am super excited about, and that is The Darkest Legacy by Alexander Bracken, which is book 4 in the Darkest Mind series. Again, not a trilogy anymore, series. This installment follows our precious baby Zoo 5 years after the events of the original trilogy, and I am just so excited to see, like, what has happened to this world, what has happened to the Black Betty crew, what is going on in this world. I'm super excited to get to this, and it's so big. It's so big. I'm so excited. It has also just occurred to me that I'm not telling you when any of these books are coming out. Bridgette Clay, I think I mentioned this on already, but anyway, Bridgette Clay is coming out in October, as is Muse of Nightmares, and as is A Map of Days. And this lovely thing is coming out in July, this month here. The next book that I was super excited to get my hands on at ALA, and you know what, just get used to the word excited right now, because I'm going to be using it a lot. Just get over it. So yes, next book, excitement, is Consumed by Miss J.R. Ward. So if you've been watching any of my videos for any length of time now, you know that I adore J.R. Ward and I adore the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So when I heard that she was going to be releasing, I believe this is a standalone? Yes, as best of my knowledge, this is a standalone, I think, contemporary novel surrounding firefighters? I think, don't quote me. I think that's what this is about. Regardless, it's J.R. Ward, it's romance, I love her, I trust her, I am excited. And this lovely thing also comes out in October. Just, everybody, we are gonna be so broke in October. The next book that I am super duper excited for, I'm so pumped. I am so pumped and excited about this book that I waited in line for 2 hours for this book, and it is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Miss Mackenzie Lee, which is the sequel slash companion novel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, also by Mackenzie Lee. Yes, me and many other brave souls sat in line for 2 hours to get this arc, and not only did we get the arc, we got them signed and personalized. Yes, so this is the sequel slash companion novel, and it follows Felicity and her badass education, love, and self, and I am just so excited. The Gentleman's Guide was one of my all-time favorite books of last year. It was so good. That book made me cry no less than 3 times. So I am so super stoked, excited, enthralled, just enthused, all of the words to get to this. It is just gonna be so awesome. I just know it. I have all of the excite in my body. And you guessed it, this book also comes out in October. Like, seriously, just prepare to pay absolutely 0 bills in October. The next book that I was super excited to get my hands on while I was at ALA was Rabbits and Robots by Andrew Smith. And yes, I managed to get this one signed and personalized too. I have read, I want to say most of Andrew Smith's other books, and I have so very much enjoyed all of his other books, so when I heard that this was gonna be there and he was gonna be there, oh, I was so excited, and I knew I had to get my hands on it. All of that being said, I have absolutely no idea what this book is about. But I have found that when dealing with Andrew Smith's books that are not explicitly contemporary, that's pretty much the way to go. So yes, I have all of the excitement to get to this new novel, and unlike the others, this one comes out in September. The next book that I managed to get my hands on at ALA that I am super stoked about is The War Outside by Ms. Monica Heese. Yes, so I believe it was last year? It was either last year or in 2016, I read The Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Heese, and I really enjoyed it. So when I heard that she was coming out with another World War II based book, I was so excited. As best of my knowledge, this is, yet again, another World War II based book. This one, I believe, has to do with Japanese internment camps, which I have not read an awful lot of literature about, and I really want to change that. So I am super duper excited to get to this book. It comes out in September as well. Just all of the money that bookish people are not going to have in fall. All of the bills not being paid. RIP to our bank accounts. Next book that I was super duper excited to get my hands on at ALA was What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. Yes, I am super I am so excited to get to this because Becky Albertalli writes these painfully adorable, heartwarming, just fluffy goo queer stories that just make you so happy. And then you have Adam Silvera, who writes these just absolutely devastating, painfully moving, make you feel all of the feels queer stories, and I am so intrigued to see how this is gonna go. And this book also, you guessed it, comes out in October. The next book that I was super excited to get my hands on at ALA was The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Miss Kirsten White. Now, I want to say about 2 years ago, I started Anti-Darken by Kirsten White. I loaned it out from the library and I got about halfway through it before I had to return it, which kills me. I really want to finish it. But I really loved what I had read of it so far. So when I heard that Kirsten White was doing a Frankenstein-esque retelling inspired story, I was really excited to see what she was gonna do with it. And let me just tell you, I have already read this book, and oh my god, this is one of the best books I've read so far this year. And I'm saying it right now, this is, without a doubt, my favorite Frankenstein re-envisionment, retelling, inspired, whatever you want to call it. This is my favorite. I already have a full-blown review ready to go up on my blog closer to release date, which is September. I'm also most likely going to do a full-blown review for it on the channel, so be on the lookout for that. The next book that I managed to get my hands on at ALA was Buried Beneath the Baobab Tree by, I'm going to butcher this name, Dalby Trisha Nuwab. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit because I'm just gonna ruin it. But this name of this lovely human who wrote this very lovely book. This book follows the story of a young Nigerian girl as her home is torn apart by Boko Haram, and I have already read this book, and it was so beautiful, and it was so moving, and in my particular case, so educational. Like, I don't know about the rest of you, but I know very little about what is going on in Africa with Boko Haram and all of that horribleness and what's happening to these poor girls. So I was really excited to read this book so that I could maybe open my eyes to this topic a little bit better, and this definitely helped with that, and I am very grateful to it, and I definitely recommend you all go out and get it. I have a full-blown review of this book up on my blog right now. I will link it down in the doobly-doo. This book comes out in September. Highly recommend that you guys go out and get it. It was so good, so moving, so educational. Just, yes, this book was fantastic. The next book that I was so freaking pumped to get at ALA was Check Please by Ngozi Ukazu, and just, I was so excited to get this. I've heard so many amazing things about this webcomic series. It's not even funny. And not only did I manage to get an arc of this book, oh no, I also managed to get it signed and personalized, and she drew me a biddle. She drew me a little bitty biddle. Oh my god, he's so cute. I love him so much. For those of you who have been living under a rock and have not seen this pop up all over the internet, this is a webcomic series that is now being turned into a graphic novel trade series type thing, and it follows the story of Biddle, who is a queer hockey player, and it is just, it is the most wholesome, adorable, hilarious, amazing thing. It is so good. I've already read it. It's just, I love it so much. I love all of them so much, and I love this. I love this so much. If you have not read this, you need to go and read it, because it is like the most wholesome thing ever, and it just makes my little queer heart aflutter. It's just so good. It's so good. This lovely thing also comes out in September. The next arc that I was super duper excited to get my hands on at ALA was A Very Large Expansive Sea by Miss Tahara Mafi. Yes, so this is Tahara's new contemporary, I know, new contemporary novel that is, I believe, very heavily influenced by her own experience living as a Muslim American teenager in the United States. And I've heard people talking about it. I've heard them say how beautiful and moving and touching it is. And I am so excited to get to it. Tahara has some of the most beautiful writing I have ever read. So I am just so excited to get to this. And yes, people, this book also comes out in, you guessed it, October. Who plans this? Who plans for all of these books to come out in the same month? And oh, we're not done, because yet another one of my most anticipated releases that I really wanted to get my hands on at ALA was Dear Evan Hansen, the novelization. And yeah, this thing also comes out in October. So yes, this is the novelization of the smashing Broadway musical Dear Evan Hansen, which, because I fear spoilers, I know absolutely nothing about. That's right, I was not able to go see the Broadway musical, and I have not listened to it because I heard through the grapevine that they were going to be novelizing it, so I've completely just stayed away from it. Just completely not touched it at all. I have no idea what this is about, except that it took the Broadway community by storm. So I am super excited to finally get to it and see what all of the hubbub is about, and finally be able to listen to that musical, because all people do is talk about that musical and how freaking amazing it was. It won like a bajillion Tonys, so I am excited. I am super excited to get to this. And like I said, this one comes out in October because publishers hate us. But this next book that I am going to talk to you about does not come out in October, though there are more books over here that come out in October, so don't get excited. No, the next book that I was excited to get my hands on at ALA was How to Be a Good Creature by Miss Montgomery? C. Montgomery? I think that's how you say her name. I'm not sure. S-Y. How do you pronounce that? So, not only are we excited that this book does not come out in October, but we're also excited because this is actually a memoir, which means nonfiction. What? Reading nonfiction? What is happening? Yes, this is a memoir, and it specifically says a memoir in 13 animals. So I'm guessing that it's 13 chapters long, and each chapter somehow has to tie in with an animal, and it's also illustrated, so I'm just all kinds of excited about this. And this, my lovelies, this lovely thing does not come out in October. No, it comes out in September, which, you know, is still fall. It's just we're all gonna be broke all fall. Just no money for fall. The next book that I have to show you that I was very, very excited to get my hands on at ALA was Giant Days by Non Pratt. So, if you were not aware, Giant Days is actually a graphic novel series. Yes, there are many, many comics, and they're very funny, beautiful, wonderful, just, I love the graphic novel series. So when I heard that they were going to be novelizing it and that Non Pratt was going to be writing the book, I was so stoked. And just so you lovelies know, I have already read and reviewed this book, so if you want to check out all of my thoughts on this book, I will leave a link to my blog post down in the doobly-doo. If you don't know what Giant Days is about, it is about 3 girls who are traversing their first year at university, and it is so relatable, and again, it's so funny, and so just, it makes you feel so warm and fuzzy, and I love the graphic novel series, and the book is just as good. So just go out and get all of the Giant Days things. All of the Giant Days things. And, we have an outlier. This one actually comes out in August. Yay, for something not coming out in September or October. This next book that I'm going to show you, I am super excited about for a multitude of reasons, one of which, it doesn't come out in August, September, October, none of those months because it's already out. That's right, it's a finished copy. Yes, I also managed to get finished copies at ALA, and the first of those finished copies that I managed to get at ALA was Blood, Water, Paint by Joy McCullough. Yes, I picked up this book at ALA because while I was waiting in line for 2 hours for Mackenzie Lee and Petticoats and Piracy, I heard 2 girls in front of me in line talking about this book, and oh my god, it sounds like it's going to destroy me in the best possible way, and I am so excited for it. As best of my knowledge, this is a book written in verse about a female Renaissance painter who was the first woman to win a sexual assault case in Europe. Like, I think that's what it's about. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me. Anyway, the girls in front of me in line made this book sound like it was literally going to rip my soul out of my body and just break it into itty bitty pieces, and that sounded very, very appealing. So, of course, I went and I picked it up, and I am super excited to read it. And the next book that I managed to get at ALA is also a finished copy. It's already out. We don't have to go out and buy it in October with all of those other books. It is Orphan Monster Spy by Matt Killen. Yes, this is a World War II YA fiction story, which we all know I am absolute trash for, and then add in the fact that it is blurbed by Miss Elizabeth Wayne, who wrote the Codename Verity series. Well, we just know what that means. That means that this ish is gonna get read by me. I don't know too much about what this is about, but I believe it follows the story of a young Jewish girl who becomes a spy within, like, a Nazi camp. Like, she goes into, like, Nazi territory and spies on them, which sounds absolutely horrific and all kinds of anxiety-inducing, and I'm here for it. I'm ready for books to destroy me this year. And keeping on with this train of books that are already out, we don't have to worry about getting them in October, is Mapping the Bones by Ms. Jane Yolen. For those of you who don't know, Jane Yolen is, again, another YA historical fiction author. She wrote one of my all-time favorite Holocaust fiction books, The Devil's Arithmetic, and so when I found out she was writing a new Holocaust fiction book, I was so excited. And really, that's all I know about it. All I know is that it is another Holocaust fiction book written by Jane Yolen, and that's all I need to know to be so super stoked about this book. And the last of the finished copies that I'm going to show you before we jump back into Arkland is Neverworld Wake by Miss Marisha Pessel. And don't be alarmed by the sticker. Yes, this is a display copy. For those of you who don't know, on the last day of ALA, because publishers do not want to worry about having to tote all of their stock back to wherever they're coming from, they basically give away everything at the booth. So this was one of the books that they were giving away. Now, I have heard absolutely phenomenal things about Night Film by Marisha Pessel. So when I saw that they were giving away copies of her new young adult fiction book, of course, I wanted to snatch it. So I did. I snatched it, and now I'm super excited to get to read it. That being said, I have absolutely no idea what it's about, except for that it is a YA fiction book written by Marisha Pessel, who wrote Night Film, which is apparently one of the best books ever in the history of ever. And like I said, we're diving straight back into Arkland. The next arc that I was super excited to get my hands on at ALA was The Wicked King by Miss Holly Black. Yes, this is the sequel to The Cruel Prince by Miss Holly Black, and I waited in line for 2 hours for this arc, like, just for the arc. It's not signed, Holly wasn't there. It was just 2 hours for this arc. And I know what y'all are thinking. Jardin, did you read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black? The answer is no. No, I have not read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black yet. And do you want to know why? Because when The Cruel Prince came out and everybody was clamoring over themselves and reading it, and then they got to the end of it, they were literally screaming on Twitter about how long they were going to have to wait for the sequel. People, I had no desire to be one of those people. I did not want to be screaming and crying about having to wait for a sequel for a book for like a year. I didn't want to be those people. So I decided, just put it off. Just wait until we're closer, until the release date of the second one, and then you can read it. But see now that I have the sequel, I can go read the first one, which I am super excited to do, because if there's one thing that Holly Black never gets wrong, it's fairies. Like, Holly Black knows her fairies. She knows her fairies so well that it's a little scary. So yes, I am super duper excited to get to this book. And I hate to say this because I know there are people out there watching this video who have already read The Cruel Prince and have to wait to read this. This book comes out in January of 2019. I'm sorry people who have to wait until January to read this. I feel bad for you, I do. But I'm also super excited that I don't have to be you. And then the last book that I'm going to show you, it is by no means the last book that I got, but honestly, guys, we've already been here a ridiculous amount of time. I don't have enough time to get to all of them. Like, maybe I'll hold them up real quick in a minute to show you what else I got, but I can't go anymore. This is already way too long, and I'm making it longer. Look at what I'm doing. I'm ruining everything. So the last arc that I'm going to go into depth and show you is Hoarding Darkness by Miss Robin Lefevers. Yes, for those of you who don't know, this is again a case of the original series was finished, but we're gonna keep going because it's 2018 and this is the year we're bringing back all the faves. This is a continuation of the His Fair Assassin series by Robin Lefevers, which I have not read, but I have heard nothing but spectacular things about that series, and I'm super excited to get to it, and I'm also super excited to get to this. Like, I've kind of peeked at the back of it, and it is just all kinds of interesting. But I don't know exactly what of it is spoilers and what isn't, so I'm not going to go into detail as to what it's about. Just know that this is a continuation of the His Fair Assassins series. And this book, I'm sorry for saying this for those of you who are super excited for it. This book comes out in February of 2019. Guys, I know, I'm sorry. I know what it's like to wait a long time for a book. I'm looking at you, Bridgette Clay. I know how it feels. I feel your pain. I'm sorry. And like I said, that wasn't all the arcs, guys. That wasn't all the arcs I got at ALA. Look. These are all of the other arcs that I got that I didn't talk about. I'm trying to get them all in frame. Do you see them all? These are all the other ones that I got. There's not enough time for me to go into all these books. Just know, I got all of these too. All of these and all of the ones that I already talked about. That's what I got. Oh my god. Whew. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, those were all the books that I toted around for hours and days at ALA 2018. So maybe you understand the whole, it was great, but oh my god, thing that I was talking about however long ago it was that I started this video. But like I said, ALA was fantastic. Of course it was fantastic because I got all these books, but it was also fantastic because of all of the amazing people that I met. Seriously, you meet the most amazing people sitting in line for 2 hours. Everyone was so nice and helpful and so excited about all of these books, and it was just such a warm and just amazing feeling to be surrounded by that kind of just intense passion for books. It was one of the best things I've ever done. If you ever get the opportunity to do it, 100% recommend that you do, because it is just unforgettable and just fantastic. But we're finally here at the end of this haul, and I want to hear from you lovelies. What books that I got at ALA are you most looking forward to? Have any of you guys already gotten some of these books? Have you read them? What did you think of them? Which one should I read first? Let me know about it all down in the comments. I want to hear so many things. As always, thanks you guys for watching. I know that this was incredibly long, but I know that you guys love hauls, so hopefully you'll forgive me for how long it is. Thanks you guys for watching. I will see you next time. And remember, books are the escape, and they're going to bankrupt us this fall.